Hello, my friend. Welcome. I am so happy you're here today. If you are listening to this voice, you're probably on a journey, a very quiet journey. You are learning English all by yourself. Think about your daily routine. There is no teacher standing in front of you. There is no classroom with big whiteboards. There are no homework papers on your desk. There are no stressful exams at the end of the week. It is just you. It is just your phone. It is just your headphones. And your precious time. Many people look at this situation and they feel sad. They think this is a big problem. You say to yourself, I cannot do this alone. You say to yourself, I am not smart enough. You say to yourself, I need someone to correct my mistakes. It feels lonely. It feels heavy. Every time you try to study, you feel a little bit of stress, you take a deep breath, you feel a heavy sigh in your chest, you feel like you are not making progress. You think you need a professional teacher. You think you need an expensive class. You think you need more hours in your day. But today, I want to tell you something different. I want to show you a new path. You do not need to feel this weight on your shoulders anymore. You do not need the old school methods that make you tired. Today, we are going to change how you look at English. We are going to make it simple. We are going to make it natural. Imagine practicing English in a quiet room. Imagine practicing in a small, beautiful moment. Imagine doing this in your real life, without any stress. We're not going to use old textbooks. We're not going to use boring school exercises. We are going to use a completely new way of thinking. This new way is very simple. This new way is incredibly powerful. Let us begin this journey together. Part 1. The myth of study time. Let us look at a very common picture. Most people think learning looks like a big event. You stop everything you are doing. You clear your desk. You sit down in a chair. You open a heavy book. Or maybe you open a colorful app on your phone. Then you say to yourself, now I study English. This sounds like a good plan. It sounds like you are being a good student. It feels very responsible. But let me tell you a secret. This is actually where the trouble begins. When you say those words, now I study English, something shifts inside you. Your brain gets ready for a fight. It prepares for hard work. It prepares for difficult rules. It prepares for mistakes and feeling bad. Your brain gets ready for stress. And who wants stress after a long day? Nobody does. So you avoid it. You put the book away. You feel guilty. Real practice does not need this heavy feeling. Real English does not live inside school walls. It does not live in tests. It lives in your normal life. Think about this phrase. To fit something into your life. What does that mean? It means you make it a natural part of your day. It is like breathing. It is like walking. It is not a heavy bag you have to carry on your shoulders. English should fit into your day, not sit on top of it. So how do we do this? We stop creating study time. Instead, we create language moments. A language moment is very small. It is so tiny that your brain does not even notice it. It does not fight back. It takes 10 seconds. Sometimes it takes 5 seconds. It is just one simple sentence. Because when a task is small, it is not scary. And when it is not scary, you actually do it. Let us look at a very normal situation. You're standing in your kitchen. You're making a warm cup of tea. Or maybe some coffee. This is not a special moment. You're not trying to be a perfect student. You're just standing there, waiting. Usually, your mind is completely empty. Or maybe you're thinking about your problems. But this time, you change one tiny thing. Inside your head, very slowly, very calmly, you say a few words. I am making tea. The water is hot. I am waiting. That is all. You do not repeat it 10 times. You do not check a grammar book. You do not ask yourself, is this perfect? You just let the words exist in your mind. This is not speaking practice. This is thinking practice. And thinking in English is where real fluency begins. Many learners think only speaking out loud counts, but that is not true. Before you can speak easily, you must feel comfortable thinking. Thinking is like warming up your car engine on a cold morning. It prepares your brain without any noise, without any pressure. Part 2. Cutting the middleman. Let us look at another very normal moment in your day. You are holding your phone. Your finger is hovering over the screen. You are about to check your messages. You are about to look at social media. You are about to lose yourself in the digital world. But before you swipe, you pause. You stop for just 1 single second. And inside your mind, you say a very simple thing in English. I am checking my phone. I want to see my messages. I am just looking. This seems so simple, but something very important is happening here. You are not translating. You are not thinking the sentence in your own language first, and then changing it into English. No, you are going directly to the English words. We have a special name for this. We call it cutting out the middleman. The middleman is translation. When you translate, you create a bridge. You go from the real world to your native language, then across the bridge to English, and finally to your mouth. This bridge is too long. This bridge makes you slow. It makes you feel tired. When you remove the middleman, English becomes fast. It becomes natural. It becomes a direct connection to your life. You are also not correcting yourself in these moments. Many learners are always checking their grammar. They want to be perfect. But constant correction kills the natural flow of language. There is a great expression for this: to get in your own way. It means you block your own progress because you are worrying too much. You stop yourself from moving forward. When you check every single word, you get in your own way. These tiny language moments are not about being perfect. They are not about scoring points on a test. They are about being present in your life. You are simply connecting the English language to what you are doing right now. This connection is incredibly powerful. Why? Because your brain is designed to love meaning, and real life is full of meaning. Most language learners say, I will practice when I have more time. But let us be honest. Free time does not just appear out of nowhere. Waiting for the perfect time is like waiting for a perfect day. It sounds beautiful, but it almost never comes. There is another common expression: waiting for the right moment. It means you delay your actions. You wait for ideal conditions. You wait for the perfect quiet room. But language moments solve this problem completely. You no longer need to wait for the right moment, because the right moments are already here. They appear naturally throughout your day. They happen when you wash your hands. They happen when you walk down the street. They happen when you sit down on a chair. They happen when you feel tired. These moments come to you many times every single day. This is exactly how babies learn their first language. Babies do not buy grammar books. They do not memorize lists of words. They do not sit down at a desk and say, "Now I learn to speak." They simply connect words to actions. They connect sounds to feelings. They live inside the language. And you can do the same. You are not too old to learn this way. Your brain is still amazing. It still knows how to learn naturally. The problem is not your brain. The problem is the stressful school methods. Language moments give your brain permission to relax. And when your brain is relaxed, learning happens much faster. So this is your first personal system. You stop saying, "I am studying English." Instead, you say nothing out loud. You simply live small pieces of English, 5 seconds. One sentence, one quiet moment. And over time, something wonderful happens. English stops feeling like hard work. It starts feeling familiar. And familiarity is the secret door to fluency. Part 3. Invisible speaking. Let us talk about a feeling that almost every English learner knows. You understand English when you listen. You understand English when you read. But when you want to speak, everything stops. You want to say a simple sentence, but the words get stuck in your throat. Your chest feels tight. Your mind goes completely blank. The words just disappear. Many learners think they have a bad memory. They think they need more grammar. They think they need to study more vocabulary. But that is not the real problem. The real problem is the fear of making a sound. When you speak out loud, your voice becomes public. Your mistakes become real. You feel completely exposed. There is an expression for this. To put yourself out there. It means you show yourself to the world, even when you feel afraid. For many learners, speaking English feels like putting yourself out there too soon. It feels dangerous. Your brain is trying to protect you. It thinks you are in danger, so it shuts down your voice. But what if you could practice speaking without any danger? What if you could train your mouth without making any sound? What if you could practice without any fear? This is where we use a method called invisible speaking. If something is invisible, you cannot see it. With invisible speaking, people cannot hear you. You move your lips, you shape the words with your mouth, you use your tongue, but you do not make any sound. You are speaking, but only you know it. At first, this might feel a little bit strange, but think about this phrase, to take the pressure off. It means you remove the stress from a difficult situation. Invisible speaking takes the pressure off. Because there is no sound, there is no audience. And because there is no audience, your fear becomes very small. You can do this anywhere. You can do this when you are walking down the street. You can do this when you are sitting on a busy bus. You can do this when you are washing the dishes at home. Even when people are standing right next to you, they do not know what you are doing. Nobody hears you. Nobody judges you. Nobody corrects you. You do not rush. You do not perform. You do not try to sound perfect. You slowly move your lips and you say, "Today was a very long day. I feel a little tired. I want to rest now." You are training your physical body. Speaking a language is not just a mental game. It is a physical sport. Your mouth, your tongue, your jaw, they all need physical exercise. They need to get used to the strange shapes of English words. Invisible speaking trains these muscles gently. It trains them slowly, step by step. There is another great expression for this, to ease into something. It means you start something very slowly, without using force. Invisible speaking helps you ease into the language. You're not jumping into deep water. You're just standing at the edge. You're letting your feet get used to the water first. This builds real confidence. Confidence does not come from being perfect. Confidence comes from feeling familiar. When your mouth moves in English every day, even without sound, your body learns that English is safe. It learns that English is normal, and when something feels normal, fear loses its power. Many learners wait until they feel ready to speak, but readiness does not work that way. You do not wait for confidence. Confidence comes after you take action. Invisible speaking is action without any risk. After some time, you will notice something beautiful. The sound will want to come out on its own. First, it might be a tiny whisper, then a single word, then a whole sentence. You do not force it. Forcing creates tension, and tension blocks your fluency. You let it happen naturally. You let the door open slowly. You do not kick the door open. You just turn the handle. And you wait. This is very different from classroom speaking. In a classroom, you are often put on the spot. To be on the spot means everyone is looking at you. Everyone is waiting for you to make a mistake. Invisible speaking removes the spotlight. There is no spotlight. There is only you and your quiet practice. This gives you mental clarity. Your brain focuses on the meaning of the words, not on the speed. You are not in a race. You are building smooth pathways in your mind. One day, speaking out loud will feel easy. Not because you forced yourself, but because your brain already knows the way. This is practice without embarrassment. This is practice without stress. And that is exactly why it works. Part 4. One idea a day. Let us look inside your mind for a moment. What does it look like? For many learners, the mind is a very crowded place. It is full of grammar tables. It is full of long lists of vocabulary. It is full of rules that you try to remember every single second. You think you need to learn more. You think you need 50 new words today. You think you need to watch 10 more videos. This is a heavy way to live. There is an expression in English for this feeling: to have too much on your plate. Think about a plate at dinner. If you put too much food on it, the food starts to fall off. It becomes messy. You cannot enjoy your meal. Many English learners have too much on their plate. You know many words, but you cannot use them easily. You understand many rules, but you freeze when you try to speak. This happens because you are trying to grow wide. But language does not grow wide first. Language grows deep first. So here is a very different path. Instead of learning many things in one day, you choose just one single idea. Not one word, not one grammar rule. One human idea. An idea is something you can feel. It is something you experience in your real life. For example, the idea of being tired, or the idea of waiting, or the idea of enjoying a small moment. These are real human experiences. Words by themselves are empty. They are just cold letters on a page, but ideas are warm. Ideas are full of life. So, when you wake up in the morning, you choose your idea for the day. You say to yourself quietly, "Today my English idea is being tired." That is all. You do not write it down in a notebook, you do not study it for hours, you simply keep this small idea in your mind like a little seed. Then, as you go through your day, you return to this idea again and again. In the morning, you think, "I am a little tired today." In the afternoon, you think, I was tired this morning, but now I feel okay. In the evening, you think, I am very tired now. I want to rest. These sentences are very simple. They do not use difficult words. But something beautiful is happening here. You are not chasing after English. English is walking beside you like a friend. You are letting the sentences sink in. To sink in means to let your brain fully absorb something. It is like rain going deep into the dry ground. The one idea system lets English sink in. You are not rushing. You are looking at the same meaning from different sides. This builds real comfort. And comfort is much more important than speed. Many people think fluency means speaking very fast. But real fluency means thinking easily. When the same idea comes back to you again and again, your brain stops working so hard. The words start to flow naturally. This is exactly how children learn to speak their first language. Children do not say something completely new every minute. They talk about the same simple things. They repeat the same ideas in slightly different ways. This repetition is not boring. It is safe. It is peaceful. There is an idiom for this: to get the hang of something. It means you slowly understand how something works. You become comfortable with it. The one idea system helps you get the hang of thinking in English. You're not memorizing. You are living inside the meaning. This system also gives you emotional safety. When you try to learn too many topics, you feel lost. You say to yourself, I do not know enough words. You say to yourself, I cannot express this. You say to yourself, I am falling behind. But when you stay with one simple idea, you feel grounded. Grounded means you feel stable. You feel calm. You know exactly where you are. At the end of the day, you can look back and say, today I talked about being tired. That is a real victory. We call this a small win, and many small wins create a giant wave of confidence. You learn that English is flexible. It moves, it bends, it fits your life. And the next day, when you choose a new idea, the old idea does not disappear. It stays in your mind. Your English grows like a strong tree. It does not grow wide and weak. It grows deep and strong. Roots first, branches later. Part 5. Sitting with the question. Think back to your very first day of school. You sat at a small desk. The teacher stood at the front. And a very simple pattern began. Question, answer. The teacher asks a question. The students must give an answer. When your answer is correct, you feel happy. You feel safe. You feel smart. But when your answer is wrong, something painful happens. You feel small. You feel embarrassed. You feel a cold wave of fear in your chest. Over many years, your brain learns a dangerous lesson. It learns that speaking is a big risk. It learns that silence is a bad thing. It learns that not knowing the answer is a failure. We carry this heavy pattern with us into English. Every time you hear a question, you feel you must answer immediately. Every time you practice, you feel you must produce the perfect response. If you cannot answer, you feel like you are failing. But real language does not work like a school test. Real language is not a perfect performance. In real life, language is messy. People stop in the middle of a sentence. People change their minds while they are speaking. People start a thought and they just leave it unfinished. Think about the conversations you hear every day. Someone asks a question. The other person stays silent for a moment. They do not rush. They say, I do not know, maybe. And then they stop. This is not bad English. This is natural English. So, here is a very different method for your solo practice. You practice asking questions without giving any answers. At first, this feels very strange. Many learners believe that without an answer, there is no learning. They think silence means nothing is happening, but that is not true. Real learning can happen inside the question itself. Let us look at this slowly. When you ask a question in English and you do not rush to answer it, something amazing happens. Your mind stays inside the English language longer. You do not run back to your native language. You do not rush to finish the thought. You do not escape the moment. You simply sit with it. There is a beautiful expression, to sit with it. It means you stay with a thought or a feeling without trying to fix it. You do not try to push it away. When you practice without answers, you sit with English. You allow the language to stay in your mind calmly. For example, you look out the window. You ask yourself slowly, why do I feel calm right now? And then you stop. You do not explain your feelings. You do not search for the perfect words. You do not panic. You simply let the question live in your mind. Your brain is active, but it is completely relaxed. This is very important because stress closes your mind. When you are stressed, your brain wants to escape. But calm opens your mind. When you are calm, your brain becomes curious. And curiosity is the strongest force in learning. Part 6. The future. Memory. Let us look at how you see your tomorrow. Most people think about their future in a very simple way. They set big goals. You say, I want to speak perfect English. You say, I want to be completely fluent. You say, I want to feel confident in front of others. Goals are not bad things, but goals can feel very far away. And when a goal feels far away, it starts to feel heavy. It feels out of reach. It feels like a giant mountain you have to climb every single day. For many learners, fluent English feels too far. It feels too difficult to touch. So instead of feeling excited, you feel pressure. Instead of feeling hope, you feel tired. Instead of feeling happy, you feel stressed. Let us try a different way. Instead of imagining a future goal, let us imagine a future memory. This is a very special shift in your mind. A goal is something you have to chase. You have to run after it. But a memory is different. A memory is something you have already lived. It is warm. It is safe. So, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. You are not a famous superstar. You are not a perfect textbook. You are just yourself. You are sitting in a comfortable chair. You are holding a warm drink. You are speaking English easily. You are speaking with a friend. You are smiling. You are not speaking too fast. You are not trying to be perfect. You are just comfortable. Now, here is the most beautiful part. Imagine that this future you is looking back at today. That future you remembers this exact moment. They remember you sitting here, listening to this voice. And in English, your future self speaks to you. They say, I remember when English was hard. They say, I remember when you practiced alone in your room. They say, I remember when you felt unsure of yourself. This changes everything. You are looking back at your past with kindness. To look back with kindness means you do not judge yourself. You do not criticize your mistakes. Your future self looks at you today with love because they know you are doing your best. Your brain learns so much better when it feels safe. Now, imagine your future self continues to speak. I'm glad you did not stop. I'm glad you stayed patient with yourself. I'm glad you trusted the quiet process. Language grows very quietly. You cannot see it happen every day, but this simple technique helps you see that growth. It helps you see it before it fully arrives. You shift your mind from pressure to gratitude. You are already succeeding. You just have to let time pass. My dear friend, as we come to the end of our talk today, I want you to take a deep, slow breath. Feel the air fill your chest. Let go of all the worry. Let go of the heavy pressure. I want you to hear these words clearly. You are not late on this journey. You are not slow. You are not doing anything wrong. Learning English alone is not a weakness. It is a beautiful, quiet power. It is a kinder way to grow. Remember the simple paths we discovered today. You do not need hours of stressful study. You do not need heavy books. You only need small, honest moments. Think a single sentence when you make your tea. Move your lips without making a sound when you walk down the street. Keep just one warm, human idea in your mind all day. And sometimes ask a simple question and just sit with the silence. These tiny actions are like small seeds. You plant them today, they grow quietly tomorrow. You do not see them grow, but they do. You do not need to rush. You do not need to make big jumps. Just take one gentle step at a time. Move forward slowly, without any pressure. Trust yourself. Trust the natural way your brain works. You are doing so much better than you think. You are already on your way. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. It is a joy to walk beside you. Keep breathing, keep growing, and always believe in yourself. Goodbye for now.